Hey everybody, Matt here from East Coast Sabers again, and today I'm going to be doing just a quick product overview of a saber that I built a little while ago, but I just got around to selling actually, and I thought before I shipped it out I would do just a quick overview of the upgrades, the specs, and the features that I've done to this saber for the future owners, just to know what they're getting before it actually arrives. So the seller was looking for a Rey, the Force Awakens saber, to use as a cosplay piece for her Rey cosplay. So luckily I had already done this one all up in the Force Awakens style, and we'll just go along real quick and go over the features of it. So starting at the top and working our way down, I have the KR Sabers version 3 black and silver blade plug. This was installed before the black and brass were available, but the black and silver still looks amazing in there. I can't wait to get one of the black and brass ones though and try it out in a future build. Excuse me. I have the, if my camera will focus a little better, I have the accurate smooth head rivet, or I should say rounded smooth head rivet in the bunny ears rather than the Allen screw that comes with the 2.0 kit. I have the accurate, vintage accurate sync tabs under the brass pins. I have the accurate slotted screw for the emitter screw. I have a Graflex shop dark glass eye, which is also vintage accurate. I have the KR Sabers slide switch screw installed rather than the Allen screw. I have the Sloth Furnace, the Force Awakens green and gold clamp card. I have the Allen screw replaced with a slotted screw for the clamp. Obviously there's no tape nor logo on the clamp for the Force Awakens. I have the standard Graflex 2.0 grips. I have installed 5/32 rivets into the grips rather than these Allen screws that come with the 2.0 kit. And I have a Wanawanga D-ring installed, which is riveted with the ones provided. I don't have a pommel cap of any kind because the saber was meant to be loud, and with the Padawan chassis that I'll show you in just a minute, it is a very loud saber, so I didn't want to cover up the sound holes at all. So the only real inaccuracies of this saber would be the beer tab underneath the red button. It should be a straight one, but this is an angled one, very small detail. And the red button should be a little bit darker red, but it is the standard anodized red that comes with the 2.0 kit. So those are really the only two things that aren't 100% accurate to the Force Awakens, but it's still a absolutely passable Rey saber from the Force Awakens without a problem. So those are all the aesthetic upgrades that I've done to make this a little more accurate. So now we can go into how the saber actually works. And in order to do that, let's demonstrate the inside first. So to open the saber, what you're going to want to do is just open this lever and unscrew the bottom half. And once it unscrews, you can just simply slide it off the chassis. Now this is the Padawan chassis from Goth3Design, and as I said, it puts the speaker right at the back, so it's right up against the sound holes, so it is a very loud saber. This is the 28mm premium speaker. I got it from the custom saber shop, and this saber is running the Nano Biscotti version 3 soundboard. And with the Nano Biscotti, you get 2 sound banks, and with each sound bank you get 1 boot sound, 1 power on sound, 8 swings, 8 clashes, and 1 power off sound. So each of those 8 swings and clashes are randomized, so it's not a continuous. And of course you get 2 sound banks that you can switch between, which I will demonstrate in just a minute. You have your 3.7 volt lithium ion rechargeable battery, which is hardwired in. Flipping it over, you have your recharge port / kill key right here. Now this is a turnstile kill key, so you don't actually have to remove it in order to activate the saber. All you have to do is give it a little spin. So as you can see, it's a little tight right now, so if you want to activate the saber, because as you can see, push the button, nothing happens, simply twist the kill key until you feel it spins freely. And you have your boot sound. Now, right now it will work, and as you can see, this spins a little more freely. To turn the saber off, simply twist the kill key a little more after you feel some tension, and it will be nice and tight again, and then the button does nothing. When you want to charge the saber, simply pull the kill key all the way out, and your recharge port will accept the charger that will be provided with the saber. So for right now, we'll just leave this out, and to get the full effect of the sound, we'll go ahead and put this lower back on. So to put it back on, you simply slide it in and screw the bottom half back on. Now it is a fine thread, so be careful not to cross thread it. It really shouldn't cross thread, but just be mindful of that. The threads have been greased, so it goes on very smoothly. I clean the inside of the clamp up to remove any burrs so nothing gets damaged when it goes together. And when you tighten the bottom half, as you can see, if it's fully tightened, the D-ring and the clamp don't perfectly line up with the card. So just making sure the card is nice and centered, and then just back off the clamp just a little bit, or the lower half I should say, so that the grip lines up with the clamp. And I have modified this clamp brace so that this can turn and be tightened a lot more without having to remove it. So I've already got it set to the perfect amount of tension, so all you have to do is close this clamp lever once you have your grip lined up, and now it takes a substantial amount of force, more force than you'll ever really use, to spin the bottom half. And I have also lined up the pommel with the proper grip so that the D-ring is in place, because you always want, for screen accuracy anyway, you want your clamp card, your grip, and your D-ring to be properly aligned so that the D-ring hangs opposite of the clamp. Now the pommel can be removed, but since the kill key and recharge port and SD card cannot be accessed through the pommel, there's really no point to ever removing it. But I did put a little bit of Teflon tape on there to make sure that it stops right where the D-ring lines up with the grip. But if for some reason you ever need to get it off, this can just easily spin. But for right now, it has enough tension on it that it should never come loose. So now that we have the kill key removed, we can go ahead and use the red button activation. There's nothing in the clamp. There's no switches under here. It's simply aesthetic. The red button is the Force Awakens accurate activations sequence. Just press the button to turn it on. This is a very deep royal blue, white tri-cree. So there's two blues running all the time with white for flash on clash, which you can activate just by a light tap. And as I said, with the speaker right next to the pommel, it is a very loud saber. And then just hold the button down to turn it off. And then to switch sound banks from 1 to 2, simply hold down the button until you hear the beep.
That lightsaber was Luke's and his father's before him, and now it calls to you.
And now we are on sound font number 2, and another quick tap of the button. And then hold it down again to turn it off. So now, let's go ahead and pop a blade in it real quick. So in order to remove the blade plug, simply unscrew the retention screw, which is your glass eye. Now you don't have to actually fully unscrew it, but as you can see, I've already shaved it down so that it sticks out just the perfect amount while still keeping retention on the blade or the blade plug. But you should never have to fully remove this. So right now, this is screwed in all the way that the blade plug doesn't come out. So simply unscrew it a little bit so it spins nice and freely. Pinch the bunny ears. See, if you pinch the bunny ears, it will open up, and then tip it upside down. Pinch the bunny ears, and your blade plug will fall right out. So we'll put that off to the side. And now we have our blade. Whoops. Now this is a blade from Vader's Vault. It is a 32-inch long by 7/8-inch diameter blade. It is a clear blade with a shine-through bullet tip for screen accuracy. Now if you've never had a Vader's Vault blade before, they come with these rubber dust caps on the end. Simply twist to remove it, before you put it in the Saber, but make sure that you put it back on when you're not using the blade, because Vader's Vault does not glue their cellophane in. And the reason for that is because when the blade flexes, as you can see, the cellophane will kind of crinkle inside of the blade. And if it's glued in, then the crinkle will always stay there even when the blade returns back to normal, which, as you can see, when it's not glued in, it doesn't do that. So the cellophane can easily fall out since it is not glued in, so just be mindful of that when you're installing it or removing it from the Saber, that this doesn't fall out. It can be a pain to get back in properly. So when you're not using it, simply just slide the rubber cap back over the end of the blade, and you have nothing to worry about. But for now, we'll remove it and then simply insert it into the Saber, and you'll hear it hit against the LED module. There's no need to force it. Once it rests on top of that, you're good. Tighten down your retention screw, and you're ready to turn it on. Now, I am under an incredibly bright white LED work light, so the blade is kind of being washed out on camera right now, but rest assured that this is a very bright, very blue, evenly lit blade all the way to the tip. And for the flash on clash, we'll just give it a couple taps. And then to remove it, simply unscrew the retention screw again and again until it's loose. Pop the dust cap back on. Set the blade off to the side. And put the blade plug back in. And tighten the retention screw. I'm going to go ahead and put the kill key back in. Now, as you can see, the kill key does have, let me get a close-up of that. The kill key does have this hollowed out section, and that is how the twist feature functions. So if you line this up with the tab on the inside of the recharge port, which you can see is right about between 9 and 10 o'clock, you can see that little tab on the inside. So if you line that up with that, when you install it, and simply just press it right in. Now it clearly spins,
and his fathers before him.
Or you can turn it so it's solid and it cuts power, and the Saber no longer functions. Now, for changing sound fonts, you can change the sound fonts on the SD card by simply pressing it in, removing it from the Saber, and you can install it into your computer. And I have an entire video on my YouTube channel dedicated to how to change the sound fonts on a Nano Biscotti. I walk you through every step. So if you're curious, just follow that video. I'll leave a link for it in the description box below. For now, we'll just put this right back in. And that's about it. Saber doesn't function. Again, we'll put this lower half back on. Tighten it down, back it off just until the clamp lines up with the grip, and that's it. So with the Saber, you will also be getting the 7/8 inch blade, and of course your 3.7 or technically 4.2 smart charger. Now, the way this charger works is it's got the little light on it. Obviously, if you've never used one, it will turn red when it's charging. It will turn green when the Saber is fully charged. So no need to worry about whether it does have a full charge or not. The charger will let you know. And of course, this end plugs into the recharge port after you pull the kill key. So you will get the Saber, the blade, and the charger. If I can get it back into the box. So this will all be shipping out to you tomorrow, and I hope that you get it, and I hope that it is everything that you were hoping it is, and I hope it lives up to the expectation. And I thank you for your business, and I thank everybody else for watching. And if you'd like more info on Graflexes or anything of the sort, please feel free to check out the rest of my YouTube channel, or feel free to check us out at the Graflex Addicts support group on Facebook. Thank you all for watching.